Yo, what's up, guys? This is D Brown with Track Headz. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Track Headz. So, I was just thinking the other day, right? Yohan Blake just got finished running his London Diamond League. I think he was in the same run as Noah Lyles, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he hasn't had the typical year that, he's been proclaiming that, he was going to have. Just like everybody, right? You don't train to get second, third, fourth. You train to say, hey, I want to go out there and do my thing. I want to go out there and work my hardest. And being that I still run, I understand, there may be certain things in practice that may indicate that you're in a certain shape, and then you go to a meet and it's just like, where's that shape at? It's not showing at all. And but I think that, a lot of people are going in on him. A lot of people are saying that he's trash and he's rolled and he's horrible and he's not fast anymore. He's not good anymore. And I think it's very important to keep things into context, because this guy has had such a long career, right? On the professional circuit, I think basically from 2010, 2011, he's been running for the past, it's 2024. He's been running for the past 12, 13 years. And there's a lot of guys, in this sport that haven't had 2-3 year careers, you know what I mean? And the fact that he's still able to put down quality time, still able to get contracts, still able to, he's pretty much been in this game without having a steroid scandal, without having any kind of scandal that would make you think that he isn't the GOAT, he isn't one of the GOATs, he isn't the second fastest man of all time in the 100 and 200. He was often overshadowed by Usain Bolt, because Usain Bolt is Usain Bolt. He trained with Usain Bolt, and I'm sure there was some psychological things there. He wanted to be the best, and this guy who's 6'5", from the same country he's from the same training campus he's from, and he wasn't able to get past that. But a lot of people don't really realize, I think it was back in 2013, this guy, Yohan Blake, after he ran his 969, I think in 2012 against Tyson Gay at that, he tore his hamstring, and didn't just tear it like everyone else. He tore it off the bone. That's called a level 3 hamstring strain, guys. Again, being someone that has run track, that is not pretty at all. I suffered a level 2 hamstring strain. I was limping. It was tough. It was hard. And this guy was generating so much power and so much force that it ripped off his bone, and had to be surgically put back into his bone. And the fact that he's even able to run and even able to sprint at a high level still go under 10 seconds is nothing short of amazing. That just shows the level of mental fortitude and faith that he probably has in the fact that he'll be back to where he once fell from. And I think it's very important for people to realize, why, it's not just random that, he's just having a bad time or having a bad year, because he had to relearn his body, in essence, right? After that surgery, he had to go through so much rehab. I'm sure he had to go through the surgery, to go through rehab of learning how to walk, learning how to sprint, learning how to jog, trusting his leg. And that's tough. That's not an easy feat. And I think, it was a process that took a long time. Because when I see him run now, it's a lot different than when I see him run back then before the surgery. And I can get into the specifics of that now, because, having a coach's eye and really just looking at the finer details of things. One of the things that made Yohan Blake so dangerous wasn't the fact that he was able to accelerate really well. I'm sure he was a great accelerator. But his ability after he accelerated and then got into transition and had a good transition, his speed endurance was crazy. He was able to hawk down the likes of Asafa Powell. If Usain Bolt was having a bad day, he was on Usain Bolt's ass. In the 200, as you can see, 1926, with a bad start. If you look at like prime time Yohan Blake, 19.5, 19.4, 19.26, 19.7s, 19.8s, beating Usain Bolt in the 100 and 200. Mind you, the 200 where Usain Bolt should have the clear advantage, being that he is 6'5", being that he has that 400 meter strength, and he split 43 before. Yohan Blake was that guy, and that's how Yohan Blake, that was his strength, his speed endurance. And when I see him now, I feel like he predominantly focuses on accelerating he transitions well, and then when he gets to 60, where he should be, when in the past he would hit extra gears and fire and maybe put more stress on his hamstrings to snap his leg down, he just brings it on through. And a lot of times he has this pronounced forward lean because he's probably using a lot more quads than hamstring, glutes, and hips to bring him through, which again puts a lot of stress on your hamstring. And also, you know, when you're dealing with that kind of surgery where, or maybe he may still have PTSD from it, that's not an easy, it's a major catastrophic injury that if you're a sprinter, they tell you to sit your ass down afterwards. It's not fun, it's not tough, it's horrible, it's tough. So the fact that he's able to still run, the fact that he's been under 10 seconds, I think he's even ran 9.8 since then, since that injury, is nothing short of amazing. Sure, he's having a tough time, but he's not the same Yohan Blake. As you see, he doesn't run the 200 anymore. He doesn't run 400s anymore, and I think that is what's causing his 100 to not be in the kind of shape that it can be in. You know, he's not coming from the strength side, and he doesn't have that strength that in speed endurance that he once had. Because sure, you can be running your 150s in practice, running 15s and running all these things, but you know, I remember he used to boast that when he would run his 300s, he ran 30 point. You know, he used to boast that, you know, he's strong. He used to run his 46s and running through the line and really pushing the pace. And we could tell that was his weakness, because guess what? Usain Bolt would run 45 and he would split 43. And Yohan Blake would crawl to a 46. But guess what? That 46 would give him the strength that he needs to, and fuel that he needs to run quality 200s and 100s. And we're just not seeing that anymore. And we can kind of, once I started seeing that past 2020, 2019, I was like, yeah, I don't think he's going to be producing as fast of times. And it could be because of age too. You know, he's not a spring chicken anymore. But with all that being said, this is not, you know, he should not be disrespected, because this is someone who has had a fantastic 10-year plus career in track and field, where you don't usually see that. You really don't see that. People, you know, in this sport, they chew you up and spit you out. And the fact that he's still sponsored, you know, he still looks like he has a gym in Jamaica, a health and wellness gym in Jamaica. It looks like he's still working hard. He's still doing what he's supposed to do to still stay in shape. That takes a lot of mental fortitude, and that should be celebrated, not just from, you know, Europeans or Americans. It should be, you know, celebrated in Jamaica as well, because Jamaica's hard. It is hard critics, very, very critical of your performance. And, you know, but he should be celebrated. He was part of the big three that swept in the 200 in the 2012 Olympics. You know, 2011, the youngest world champion in the 100 for Jamaica. When Usain Bolt, you know, false started. I mean, he picked up the mantle so many different times to help represent Jamaica, and he should be listed as one of the greats, you know, along with Asafa Powell, along with Usain Bolt, along with the Nesta Carters, along with, you know, all the greats that really held it down, whether it was in the relay or the actual open events, because he pushed Usain Bolt, I believe, to be at his top, especially in that 2012 Olympics. So he should be celebrated. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents, guys. Definitely, you know, if you have any comments concerning Usain Bolt, you know, definitely put them in the comments. What are your perspectives on it? And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. This is D Brown with Track Headz. Peace.